Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. A couple of things before we begin this video. We're going to have a big show on the Baseball Hut on Sunday, talking about the Major League Baseball draft. It's an interesting draft, because there's no clear-cut number one pick, and there's a lot of depth there in terms of left-handed pitching, and a lot of depth there in terms of position players with the high school players. So this is going to be it's a much better draft, top to bottom, than it was last year. And our New York Mets don't pick until number 38, and we'll see who they pick. It could be anybody. It could be anybody, and anybody can go number one, really. I mean, we've heard about Kate Anderson, Ethan Holiday, Liam Doyle, so many players, and we're going to talk about that. Starts at 6 o'clock. It's going to be a long show. It's going to be a long night, folks. It's going to be a long night watching the draft. But I love the draft. But anyway, let's talk about the All-Star break. The All-Star break is coming. We're going to have the All-Star game. Juan Soto's not going to be there. Why? Well, we know why. Because now he's with the New York Mets. If he was still with the Padres, with the Nationals, the Yankees, they would have sent him. Okay? I think as Met fans, we should have done a better job of voting him in. I voted for him many times. Met fans should have done a better job. And if the Mets fans had come out in more force to vote for Soto, we would have gotten him on the team. Be that as may, it's a disgrace that he's not there. But also we have a double disgrace, and that is they put, and this is not the kid's fault, Jacob Misiorowski, the Miz. He has started 5 Major League games. He pitched against Paul Skeens. He beat Paul Skeens. He pitched against the Mets. The Mets beat the hell out of him. But he has pitched really well in his first 5 starts. And MLB thought it would be a great idea. I got a great idea. Let's put him on the All-Star team. Why? But you don't have Juan Soto there. That doesn't make any sense. But that's Major League Baseball for you. They don't make sense. They don't make the right decisions. This is why President Trump went after them back in the winter time, saying that the baseball's in trouble, and it is. Armageddon's coming next year, folks, and you're already hearing rumblings about Rob Manfred wanting a salary cap because they want to hold down the Mets, spending. As you know, the Mets are America's team, and they're gonna do their damnedest, and they will bring Armageddon to baseball, lockout or a strike or something, because the major league players aren't going to take a lot. It's not going to take a salary cap. That's for damn sure. But anyway, let's get to the video. Let's get to it already. That's from Awful Announcing, and I agree with Ronnie here. Ron Darling on Brewers' Jacob Misiorowski earning All-Star selection. Quote, kind of a joke to the game. You think so, Ron? It's a bad choice for baseball. That's right. He's 4-1. This is in 5 starts. 4-1 with a 2.81 ERA and 25 2/3 innings. He's done nothing. That's one good month. One of the biggest topics of baseball at the moment as we speak, as we approach the start of the MLB All-Star Week, came on Friday when Milwaukee Brewers rookie pitcher Jacob Misiorowski was named as a replacement for the National League team after making just 5 starts on the year. And during Saturday's game between the New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals, Mets color analyst Ron Darling shared his strong stance on the matter. Now, Darling was an All-Star in the 1985 All-Star game. Ron is also a World Series champion. He won a lot of games in his career. He's a good pitcher, Surprisingly, his wins above replacement is not very high. I saw that a few years ago. I couldn't believe it. Though it's much higher considering he was such a great defensive pitcher. He's probably the greatest defensive pitcher in Mets history, due to the fact that he's the only Met pitcher that ever won a Gold Glove. But also he was great at throwing that guy out at second, picking that guy off at second with Kevin Elster, by the way. But anyway, let's continue our article. Misiorowski earning a spot on the National League All-Star team was an unprecedented decision, being the first player to be named to an All-Star game with less than 10 starts on the year. Last year, Pittsburgh Pirates ace Paul Skeens set the previous record for the least number of starts for a pitcher named an All-Star with 11 starts in 2024. But here's the thing, he is awesome. And he's going to start again. The Brewers rookie has undoubtedly impressed in his first his first 5 starts on the year, sporting a 2.81 ERA across 25 2/3 innings with 33 strikeouts. That's okay. But given the long list of excellent pitchers that were passed over for the roster spot by Misiorowski, Ron Darling made incredibly clear that while Misiorowski isn't to blame for this selection, the pick itself is a joke to the integrity of the All-Star game given his limited sample size. That's the problem. Quote, listen, let's separate the kid from the choice, said Darling during the 3rd inning of Saturday's Mets-Royals game, because he had nothing to do with it. So to have any vitriol against Misiorowski is ill-placed and silly. It's not his fault they decided to do it. But it can also be kind of a joke to the game and integrity of the game that he has only pitched 5 games. Now, you were saying that it was 11 times Skeens pitched, and it didn't really raise any eyebrows around baseball. I think the problem is that there are so many deserving pitchers out there that look askance at this choice. But again, separating this young man who's gotten off to a great start in his career, he has nothing to do with the choice, but it's a bad choice for baseball. Amen to that, Lonnie. Amen to that. Darling would go as far as to say the selection of Misiorowski actually represents what he believes to be a diluted All-Star game product compared to the event he watched when he was growing up. Part of it, part of it is interleague. Interleague has diluted it because we see all the players all the time. So there's no mystery there. So back in the day, way back, the way back time machine, we didn't see half the players, that played in baseball, because the leagues did not there wasn't interleague, and that's what it comes down to too. Interleague has diluted the All-Star game more than say free agency. Quote, it's ugly all the way around, to tell you the truth. Now, in one sense, have we ever talked more about the All-Star game than we have today with this choice? So that's one thing. I just remember my childhood and spending the whole day Tuesday preparing and thinking about watching the All-Star game. It was the biggest moment in my house once a year that me and my younger brothers and my dad would sit and watch the greats. It's less of that now, certainly much less of that now. I really don't even watch the game now. I watch the home run derby over the game now. Now, I love the home run derby. The home run derby, it sucked last year, by the way. Home run derby sucked last year. Darling is far from the only one who has publicly shared their frustration about Misiorowski's selection. Notably, a number of players in the Philadelphia Phillies aired their grievances to Matt Gelb of The Athletic, who serves as a beat writer for the Phillies, about Christopher Sanchez and Ranger Suarez being snubbed in favor of Misiorowski. What a joke, said Trey Turner. That's effing terrible. I mean, that's terrible, dude. Quote, that's just how MLB does it now, GT Rimuto said. Nothing against the Misiorowski kid, but those two, Sanchez and Suarez, are deserving of being on the team in the first place. There's no doubt. This is a great line. This is from Nick Castellanos. It's turning into the Savannah Bananas. Damn right. Guy shows up, you're an all-star, the whole thing about baseball is obviously meritocracy. You get to the game because you're good, and you stay on top for a long time because you're good, and if not great, and then if you're not any good, they let you go. But he has not earned this. Okay, that's the problem. Baseball, this is like a participation trophy. Why do we have a futures game? It makes no sense. And you got other players that could have made this team. I mean, Kodai Senga could have made the team. Oh, that's for sure. Clay Holmes could have made the team. That was a guy that was deserving. He's pitched really well for a guy that hasn't started in 7 years. He's pitched really well. And he's earned it, and he's been an all-star before. So you could have put him in the all-star game. But this kid, Misiorowski, I don't get it. Well, that's how it is with Major League Baseball. They don't make sense with some of their decisions. You get the idea that they just do things on the surface level and not with how it looks in terms of if it's good for the game. Is this good for the game? No. Maybe next year, if he continues to pitch well, then he deserves to go. But at the 5 starts, come on. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hit 2, and I'll see you later.